You go, you take your time. I'm just letting you know that just because I'm typing away doesn't mean I'm not.
That's fine. You have stuff to sign. Just in the nick of time.
Just in time.
Because you walked in after we started.
Yes, yeah.
Welcome in then.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is 7 o'clock. I call this meeting the General Government and Public Safety Committee to order. Do you stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with me?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have 5 aldermen present. 2 absent.
Thank you,
I
sir.
realized that it was actually, yeah, we're on item number 2, almost 3, but that's item number 1. But for the record, there's 5 of you here.
Thank you, sir.
Missed the discussion earlier.
Point of contention with number 1 in our agenda. I'm guessing there'll be no comments from citizens, so I will close that portion of the agenda. Well, well, do you have comments other than for the economic development?
No comments at this time, sir.
Okay.
Shouldn't have said that.
That is right, I apologize. Public safety, city prosecutor. No report.
No report.
Police department activity report in your packet. Any comments or questions?
I might say you see the activity in front of you there. Slow it down, I think. If we keep where we're at, we'll be over where we were last year with respect to reports. 6,000, so this doesn't seem possible. And if I may, next Monday at full council, I have a part-time position that's open. I'd like to try to fill that with Dave Davenport. Now, Landon, so that we don't get in this big discussion next week, Dave Davenport's folks are, he's from here, he's not that far from your age. I'm asking.
Yeah, he's not much older than me.
He's not much older,
Mm-hmm.
but his folks are from here, he's a graduate.
Worked for Pete's Pepsi, or used to?
Yeah, a long time ago, yes, sir. And then now, he went to police thing, he and his wife live over on Miles Orchard, I don't remember which one of them. But good guy.
Yeah, I used to play softball with him.
Yep, coaches soccer and, not soccer, youth football and Cub Scout, just a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Lives here in town, his wife is a paralegal for a firm in Columbia. Just a good guy. He is a full-time employee at the License Bureau in Columbia. So we'll get that all taken care of and kind of get that lined up. But other than that, unless you have questions for me, I'm content.
questions, anyone? Moving on, fire department, doesn't look like we have any information in our packet.
Well, my guess is that that was emailed only to Phyllis. Phyllis was out today. We're going to have two things. One, we'll get that report out to you guys. And the other thing is we'll make sure that there's a, when they send the email in, they copy it to somebody else so that somebody else can get that report out. We have to be able to operate with the assumption that somebody could be out on the day when the agenda's going on.
One copy, the chair of the committee that it's intended for.
Yeah, we can do that too.
Obviously, since it's not in there, that's why Kenny's not here right now.
Let's stop these things.
Or maybe just, sign up, you didn't get his report and he's.
Exactly.
But I like to assume the opposite.
Well, that's one way to deflect. Yeah. Well, I'm assuming no questions. Emergency management.
The second meeting of the Boone County Hazard Mitigation Plan Update Group is tomorrow. They're looking at over a series of areas and activities where cities are asked to reply with what assistance they can provide. For instance, will we assist with, do we have generators, that kind of thing. So, the plan's 400 pages long, but it's there's a lot of lists, a lot of very general language about how a incident command, what's the word I'm looking for? ICS, incident command structure is set up, and there's a page for the operational chart for each city in Boone County. So there's a lot of pages. There's some good information in there, so they're updating it as they're requested and required to do by the federal government. They ask, are you in the flood insurance program, NFIP? There's a checklist of a bunch of things they ask about. So, beginning with actually calling the chief, both chiefs, and getting all our answers together, get that down to them as we work through the process.
And that meeting's tomorrow.
Second meeting is tomorrow. Yeah. So they're working through that process.
Protective inspection.
The counted 38 houses for sale in the city of Centralia, which is, I mentioned that to Lynn last month, how few we had for sale, and it's not uncommon. Look back, it's about the same number we had last year. It peaks in the spring and kind of goes down from there. But we also have a lot of lots. There are many buildable lots available, and we also have, we've had 28 applications for single-family dwellings to be built, and many of those are getting built to custom design. That doesn't mean they're architects built, but they're somebody's picking out a floor plan, and when they pour the concrete, they already know who's going to be living in that house. We've noticed a lot of that, so they aren't ever on the market. And just talking to John Smith today, he's building a couple, and he's got another one that just sold. So I don't think it's any way crisis of having too little housing stock available, but it's lower than it's been. In some ways, I guess that's good. But that's all. That's about it from protective inspection.
All right, sir. Excuse me. Moving on to general government and finance. Economic development, the credit report. Have minutes in your packet, Jade?
So like you
here on the agenda, and as I've discussed several times the last few months, is our first annual fundraiser is going to be January 17th, so it's getting closer and closer. We've got about half of the tables spoken for just from businesses, and then of course leaves the rest for individuals. And of course, I would encourage all of you to attend if you can, and spread the word. We'll be doing a lot more marketing here in the next month. We are working with the Columbia Dinner Train to try to get some of their guests to return back to Centralia after they come up and visit and stop, because they don't really get to get off and do any exploring or anything, so we're going to try to work on some marketing for that. Our last meeting was really exciting. A few people had mentioned that, hey, why doesn't Centralia have a hotel, or what would it take to do that? So we brought up John Best, who is a co-owner of it's America's Best Value Inn, is the chain, but it's in Shelbina. And he and this other gentleman had built it, and it's a pretty successful small town hotel, about 20 rooms or so. And we brought him down to just kind of pick his brain. He was very helpful. Seemed to think it was entirely plausible that if it was something that we wanted to move forward on, we could. Of course, it would take investors, or it would take somebody kind of spearheading it, but if somebody did want to do that, we've got the resources to do that. And I think that's about all I can think of at this point. Any questions?
Speaking of the event, I think we as a board, I think we need to go ahead and get a table. It's for the event itself. The table itself seats 8.
Seats 8, $300.
And 6 aldermen, the mayor, and the city administrator would certainly fill the table. I don't know what your thoughts would be, but I think we could certainly take a table.
I will be at the chamber table, already spoken for.
Table, all but one.
The Chance Foundation volunteer will also would include me and my wife. I apologize.
You guys have messed up my number.
But I'm sorry.
We still got your 6, well, that's 6, I guess.
A couple of different options to, first of all, I think it would be very supportive of credit if we purchase a table. If there are, the council could choose to allow other department heads like Chief Dungeon or the city clerk. The other thing is, if people wanted to bring their spouse, last time I said a spouse, I figured their spouse would probably be more appropriate. I used the wrong pronoun last time, or the wrong indefinite article. Definite article, not an
Exactly, yeah.
Their spouse, the city wouldn't cover that, but then we could, have the reimbursed for that. Have whoever brought their spouse pay the city the difference. So whatever. Yeah. The tables are 300 divided by 8.
So it sounds like you might need to get an extra table if you're going to have all the spouses. So I would go ahead and put you down for 2 if you want.
Well, you can put us down. Well, if the board directs the staff so to do, we can get one, and then we'll see if we have additional people who want to attend. We'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, I personally think that the city should get a table. What are your thoughts?
That's fine with me.
Any issues?
We'll move forward on abstaining. We'll find some way to fill it without making any, picking people off the streets.
Any other questions for Freddie? park board.
There is their
Yeah,
report.
agenda. And meeting minutes approved. Any questions?
This is not specifically park board, but we did rename the road. We have ordered the sign for Janie Inlow Drive. So that should be going up as soon as we get the sign. We went ahead and got two, even though it's a one-way street. So there'll be one that you can see on Booth Street, and one you can see at the east end of Head Street. Figured that wasn't a place to save money. Save $50. And it will be, and we'll let, Boone County it will be officially on the, that'll be the official name of that street in the 911 systems.
Great. Cemetery report. There's no information in the packet. Anything about the RFP?
Well, I guess we had discussed months ago about the idea of putting together an RFP for mowing. The contract is actually evergreen, so if the board doesn't want to, I did not talk to Earl today. I just didn't get that done, but there is keeping what we talked about a couple months ago, looking at developing an RFP so the park board could bid, but I don't think we want to just give it to them, because the people that are doing it now are doing a good job. But they are not perfect, but one thing that Phyllis mentioned is she'd like them to mow on Thursday or Friday. Well, everybody wants to mow on Thursday and Friday probably, so. But it is nice to have it just before the weekend.
When is that up? Contract?
The date of the contract,
Usually it's our third meeting in March.
I was gonna say it ends either in March, before the next time you'll have to mow.
Okay.
It's been 3 years. That part, it has been it'll be 3 full years at the time for renewal. But it isn't, I thought it was a 3-year contract, but it's not. It's until parties want to rebid it.
Is that dinner only issue with the scheduling? Phyllis,
I believe so. Yeah, it's been, they've done,
quality of service has been
quality
fine.
of service has been very good. Yeah, they work, with the weed eating and everything. I mean, they do a very good job. And we ran 3 cemeteries, the city staff in Fulton, and if you have upright stones, you have a lot of weed.
Yeah, I like, yeah, okay. Anything else at the cemetery?
No.
Tree board? Library board, meeting minutes in your report.
Did make a presentation to them last month, and they did endorse our project for the Safe Routes to Schools grant.
Okay. Anything else?
Nothing.
November financials.
I don't have a huge lot to say here. We do continue to see we're good numbers for the taxes, sales tax in particular. This last month came in, it was not quite as high as last year, but overall we're still ahead and I still see it being a good year. I'd like to, we also should be getting before the end of our fiscal year our settlement with Centralia, and they amended the amount. It's going to be, I think we thought we were going to get 24. It's going to be $23,000, but it's still a nice one-time boost. And based on the numbers in when we sent in for the property tax, we anticipate a slightly higher property tax revenue this year. So overall, things are up. It's going to be a good year, but then we've got some expenses. I think we mentioned last year that, maybe we mentioned last month that we're going to see it. When it comes to budgeting next year, we're going to see an increase in healthcare costs right around 8%. So it's going to be a challenge for next year.
Any other questions or comments on the financials?
James has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
When does the city's health insurance come due and get renegotiated, whatever the right phrase is for that?
Well, with the with the advent of the American, I'm going to get the name wrong, the affordability.
I know what you're talking
The
about.
Affordability Care Act. We no longer have to technically go out for a formal bid, and we're not planning to this year, but I think the last time we went out for a bid for health care was, well, do you remember, Dave, were you?
I'm not.
He was in high
You know.
school the last time it happened. With all due respect. And it's been quite a while.
Oh, okay. If you say, my impression, I thought we had done it about 3, maybe 4 years ago.
If that's the case, then I apologize. But think
I
the
can
last-
check on that for
The
you.
last time I remember, Jason Ridgel was not yet an alderman, because he was one of the people that tried to bid on it, and Shelley Becker was the mayor at the time.
I'm thinking we did, but I don't remember for sure either.
That's right. Well, and either way, I was just curious. It seemed like as good a time as any to ask. Thank you.
I mean, Anthem does provide us with several different options, but I understand that's not the same thing as what you're talking about.
Moving on to bills over $1,250. Any questions? It's on page 92 of the PDF.
The item on there that is Heather's computer, I'll say that it was we discovered a weakness in the way we were backing up our billing, or the merge with our meter reading software, but we're going to have that. We managed to get the meters read, but it took a great deal of effort on the staff, the women in this office, and I think the water department finished up getting the meters read about 8 p.m. on the day before Thanksgiving. So it's one of those, on the outside everything looked smooth, but when that one computer went down, we found out that we needed to do a little bit better job backing up the meter reading software. Anyway, that's where that $1,045 for a computer. It was, you're getting there's more to the story than that, and I think I gave you as much as you want to know, but it was, it took a lot. The point I want to make to you is that the staff did a lot to make sure that worked, including a couple of gals who came in on Friday after Thanksgiving.
Any questions? Moving on to other general government, updating the code online.
The last time that we updated the code online was 2 years ago. It was November. It was actually November of 2012 was the last posted. The last time we went through Sullivan Publications, got new pages for the municipal code book, and updated the official online version. We have many of the ordinances that have been adopted since the last recoding or last full update online, but it's really time to update. Personally, I almost never crack open the book unless I usually go to the code that's online. The cost, the version of software that we are currently using by Sullivan Publications was bought by General Code. So the company we've worked with for many, many years is now part of General Code. They did that because the updates and making the code available online for both Windows-based and Mac-based was beginning to cost them a lot of money. And the next update was going to be tens of thousands of dollars for Sullivan Publications. So they looked for a partner, and they ended up with General Code. And so General Code has 3 different options, which I emailed out to you. Then Friday, I was thinking, if we're going to spend, we're going to look at a cost of, it's $18 a page for updates. And the last large update was about $1,300. Our annual costs right now are $180. There is no option that's that cheap with either system. About 20 minutes before the meeting, I was going through my emails and I found out that MuniCode, the other company, sent us an offer, and I sent that to you. We can delay making a decision about this if you'd like to look through MuniCode's proposal thoroughly. I'm okay either way. Michael Perry with General Code is who we worked with for a long time, and they've got a good product. I would strongly advocate moving forward. If we go with General Code, their middle line option is probably what we need. It gives you a lot of options, like you can search codes from across the state. So if you want to look at if we want to do a new dog ordinance, we can look at, or dog leash law ordinance, we can look at dog leash law ordinances across the state. It also keeps the ordinances adopted since your last full update on the same page. So right now it's on a city managed page as opposed to the Sullivan publications managed pages, so they're separated. If you don't know to go look at this other part of the city website, you won't notice that we've adopted an ordinance since last time we updated the full online code. That option is $9.95 a year, I believe it is. And then then the other version allows you to keep your comprehensive plan and other document, the higher priced one for general code. There's a few more bells and whistles and some stuff that really doesn't add that much. Muni Code has a bunch of different options, and I haven't really had a chance to look at them all. At first blush, it looks a little bit more expensive, but the one-time upfront cost is probably going to be a little higher too, because they're going to have to take all of our code. The other thing is that either one of these systems, if when we move to the next step, it's going to one of the big changes is going into putting all of the text into XML, so it can be searched better, more easily, and so that's gonna hit us regardless of which option we go with. So I'm comfortable with moving forward and staying with general code. If you feel that it's important to take additional bids, I'm happy to go out and do a informal RFP process. These are the two main ones. There are other companies out there, but I'd say 80% of cities that have their code online that are doing it through a service are using one of these two.
You say that our ordinances that have been adopted within the last few years are on here someplace?
Most of them. I'm not
I
sure.
see up through 12/16/2013, but I don't see.
Well, we may not. We may be that far behind.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's something we can do.
Okay.
I was afraid it was that far. I hadn't looked at it in a deep.
What I would like to see out there is our subdivision code updated.
Right, in May of this year?
I think it was May.
That part would be easier. We could email it to them, and they would get it up on that would be part of the $9.95 a year. We send it to them, they get it at least so it's on the same, recently adopted ordinances page. I'm trying to think they gave us a couple of examples of cities. I can give you a couple of examples of cities in both systems if you would like, or we could move forward. I'm trying to remember. Muni Code sent one that they did, but you really should see both systems if you want to look at them online. Either one is going to be an improvement over what we have now. Not that what we have now is bad. It's just the newer versions are. I think both companies have a better product than what we bought into. In Fulton, we were with Muni Code. We had their old system. It was comparable to Sullivan's old system. Both of the new systems are easier, more user-friendly. The drop-down menus, and they also work with tablets a lot better. These versions were not really designed to work with tablets. So, I guess the question for the board is, do you want to see a full side-by-side comparison, or should we just move forward with sticking with general code?
You just emailed the other proposal.
Yeah.
And you said if we went with Muni code, that they would have to then do our entire,
Well, they're gonna have to move everything, over from, into their system. And I don't, it's not gonna cost, I think it all comes with that original, like I said, I just glanced at this before. I can't remember what the original first conversion price is for Unicode. No, just looking at their it's not the $18 per page for everything we have, so it wouldn't be that high.
Is this the estimated total, $1,810? On, page 4 of the, proposal, top of the page.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if we can, if we can furnish our entire code in Word, that there would, you're right, there would be no charge.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, on the top, I'm sorry, top of page.
Top of page 4.
That's for a,
Or is that a supplement, is that something additional?
that is new pages. That is not the conversion. On top of page 4, it says, conversion of code to Unicode database. If code can be furnished in Word, no charge. Take over the code, keep the existing supplemental numbering sequence, style of code intact. And it will be online within 4 to 6 weeks. Then any additional page is $18, which is the same cost as general code, actually. And then the annual maintenance costs are on the following page. Their code on the internet, their minimal is 5,500, and then you can add the custom banner is something we wouldn't need, but you could add Code Bank, which is equivalent to the searching for other codes online for another 150, and the Muni Pro, which is it was one of the things that I thought was valuable. The Muni Pro was a service that I remember talking to her about it on Friday, and it sounded good. I'll get that detail to you. I was working on something else this afternoon, and I recognized that she'd sent this in this afternoon. But so both of them are good product. I'll go ahead and make give you a better rundown in a week, and have a chance for them to. If you have any questions about either one of them, I'll get you a couple sites for you guys to look at, so we can see which
What does the
one.
code on the internet mean? Does that just mean that put the tone code on there
Right.
and updated yearly?
Right. That's just maintaining it.
Okay,
It's still $18 per page to put new stuff in.
okay.
But that means that it's there for you, and that the thing works when somebody clicks on it. That is the maintenance of the website. That's the 5,500. The equivalent of the that's equal to the E-code 360 Lite, roughly. Then the ability to search other codes, that adds another 150.
That was the one he sent us today.
Let's take another week to look at it. I'll send you a couple pages from each site, and that way you can have a chance to look at it. The Muni. Okay, so one of the things that you get with the full bells and whistles version of Muni Code, and actually I think they both have this on their is where you can have links in your updated when you get a new update, or if you pass an ordinance that isn't part of your code, like if you rezone some property or something, it will provide you links back into the code for what the pertinent part of the code that goes along with that ordinance. So there's some ordinances that don't become part of the municipal code. But that goes like adopting the budget or adopting, I'm trying to think of some other examples. But then you'll be able to link back into the code with those with the full, the high dollar, what do they call it?
So they provide all the links on that?
With the My Muni code, which has all the stuff, yeah.
Okay.
I guess that might be I think that's the Muni Pro. Muni Docs is that other thing. They also have where you can have other documents, your comprehensive plan, your annual budget, your consolidated annual financial report, or the audit. You can have all that stuff available. It's not that hard to just post that to our website, so in either case, that would not be something I would recommend us spending extra money every year to maintain. What I'll do is between now and the next meeting, I'll send you a couple of cities that use each version and a little chart to give you an idea of what you get with each one. And if you want, probably you could get, I don't know, both of the major companies are not in the state of Missouri, but they both have reps that come into town. So if you want them to come by, I might be able to get them to come by at next meeting. I'll see if we can get. Okay. But I think one way or another we need to get this. We need to get our site, our new ordinances on our website. That's something we can do. But either way, it's time to update the code online.
Right.
So,
Certainly been stagnant for a while.
yeah.
All right, moving on, City Hall building repair summary.
We are done, and the roof came in at budget, not over. They sent the final bill. The architect came and did their inspection, and they were happy. Just looking up there today, and it looked like some of the white might have some of the white the coating was already beginning to fade a little bit, but so I might have them come take a look at that. But we'll see the next good rain. I've removed a couple of the buckets, so I'm hoping that go up there and see if there's anything leaking next time through. So next time we have good rain. I don't think we are getting the leaks we had last time. The leaks we had been previously. So because last time I looked at after our last rain, the bucket level had sunk and not gone back up. So we had about 7 or 8 different places where there were active, good leaks in the ceiling.
Okay.
Good leaks in the roof. So.
Internet and phone service update.
it should be happening in the next, at this point, we have informed CenturyLink that we're switching services. They've made the necessary alterations to, or they made the necessary, give them the codes, whatever it is, the remove, they pick codes from, so that Charter can convert our lines over, port our numbers over to their service. Now we just need to pick a date in a time when there will be a brief interruption in service, so we'll want 911 in Boone County to know, like a minute. We're talking about 30 seconds to a minute. We're shooting for trying to do it the Friday after Thanksgiving, because the emergency 24/7 would be affected, but the city hall functions wouldn't have been. So we're going to try and find something that works. I don't want to wait for President's Day. So,
Sure.
But we'll get that switched over. And once that is done, everything is ready to go with the credit card payment. We halted because the credit card payment for bills online. They got everything ready to go, and then we decided we wanted to change our internet service, which will change the IP address that service would look for. So there'll be very little interruption for anybody else, but we figured we might as well just wait just a little bit longer until we make that switch over. So once we switch over to Charter, we'll be able to turn on the credit card payment for utilities online. And that will only be online. However, we will have a terminal here in City Hall so people can come to City Hall and pay their bill online
Okay,
with credit card if they want to.
so it'd be like a computer waiting.
Yeah.
Terminal. Okay.
We also are looking at the possibility on cell phone, adding a line for we now have a corporal, sergeant, and a lieutenant, so we were looking at adding a line, cell phone line there, which would be minimal cost because they have a shared text plan.
Gotcha.
And then also looking at the possibility of we're looking at the cost of adding giving smartphones to the water, electric, and street. This would allow us to communicate a little bit better with them. I'm looking at what the cost of that will be. See how that compares to what we are going to actually save with landline. It would allow us to, there are actually a number of different times when I'm in a meeting or something like that, and it'd be very valuable to text them. They'd also be able to get some information online when they were out, as long as the data plan that US Cellular offers is pretty reasonable. So we're going to look at that. I'll bring you back the price next Monday and see if that's something that's feasible.
Okay. Any other general government? As may arise.
You guys got the invitation to the Centralia January 21st MML regional meeting?
Yes.
Let her know sometime. You can let her know by next Monday, that'd be great.
Okay.
You're gonna be able to make it. I realized, when you're leading the meeting and I'm sitting here, I almost never look at you guys. Sorry about that.
All right,
I'll
well,
sit over there some meetings, so I can.
there's no other as may arise. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Okay. There's a second?
Second.
I hear a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? This meeting is adjourned.